welcome to the Butts to Seats podcast, episode number 91.
Inching closer and closer to our 100th episode.
Yeah, and now we have new pop filters. So Emily can stop complaining.
Yes.
She'll find something new to complain about.
I'm sure I will. I'll still touch the microphone. What you guys don't hear when we edit the episode is Nick yelling at me halfway through the episode, and like every 10 minutes, like, Emily, stop touching your mic. Emily, stop moving the pop filter. And then I bitch back at him like, meh, meh, meh. So, marriage, love, it's great.
And also you don't hear Emily screwing up the intro, me telling her she screwed it up, and then going, I didn't screw it up.
Marriage is absolute bliss.
No, I'm Nick alongside my wife, Emily. Emily,
that intro.
What is it we do here?
Well, now I feel like
get it right. Do it the way I want it to be done.
I'm scared now. Well, husband, we take a week-by-week look at the slow but inevitable downfall of WCW through the 90s into the 2000s. That's what we started this podcast saying.
Yes.
Do we still agree with that? Because we have revamped that like 3 or 4 times at this point.
We tried to. I forget when we...
We're 91 episodes in. If we're not changing it, we're not changing it.
In my brain, I've been like, we need our own theme song. And I'm like,
at this point,
every week I'm just like, nope. All right, is it Vince Russo or is it just regular WCW? that kind of determines, or is it a pay-per-view?
Yeah. If somebody out there wants to make one, go for it. We'll hear it. We'll listen to you. Can't say that we'll like use it, but we'll hear it.
So today we're talking about the March 20th, 2000 WCW Monday Nitro,
live from Gainesville, Florida.
AKA, I think the most pointless Nitro there's been.
You started this episode calling it a no man's land Nitro.
Yes. They're locked into Spring Breakout, which if you didn't know that, you're going to hear about it 17 fucking times in the show.
Yeah, and you're going to watch Ricky Rackman get more and more drunk as the night goes on.
And next week's all about The Wall and Hulk Hogan. So this week is just setting up things that are going to be done in 2 Nitros.
That being said, it wasn't a bad episode.
It actually wasn't.
No, I actually enjoyed this episode. Which is rare.
Yeah, there was not a lot of filler in this show, which was strange.
It is strange. But I mean, that's also not a bad thing. The matches were quick. They were fast-paced, but they were, like, energetic. Nothing really truly dragged until, like, 2/3 of the way through the show.
The rating did go down, by the way, though. It did a 2.5 compared to last week's 2.6. Yeah, because
last week sucks.
Yeah.
Last week's episode was Garbo, and then Uncensored was Garbo. So, like, why would you watch?
And then next week's a 2.6.
Well... They went back up.
Man, they got a couple 3s left, but, yeah.
Maybe they should stop cutting those $3,000 checks.
We'll get there. But tonight's Nitro is live from the University of Florida. Go Gators.
Go Gators. I believe that's my grandfather's alma mater.
I was going to say, can you name anybody famous who went to University of Florida?
My grandfather.
So this show starts with a uncensored 2000 recap package, but it's just Nitro stills.
My favorite way to recap a pay-per-view.
They skip over the main event, Hulk Hogan pinning Ric Flair before formally winning the match.
Yeah.
They just show him touching the corners. And we skipped something over last episode, 'cause I did not realize it. That was the last Psychosis match.
Was it really?
Yes, we might see him in ECW, because he joins at some point this year, but...
Oh, God.
Yeah.
He goes from one dying company to another dying company.
Yeah.
Dude.
Don't worry, he'll join the Mexicools.
Oh, yeah, that'll go well. Does he ride in on a...
Yep.
Oh, no.
But look, he's the one I remember being part of that. I forgot that Hoovie's part of that for a little bit.
So, Juventud Guerrera, I follow him on Instagram. Don't ask me why. He's not a great follow. He still, like, markets himself as the Juice. I thought that was, like, a short-lived nothing gimmick.
So did I.
But he's still, like, the Juice is coming to your town. Like, he's, like, going to Comic-Cons and doing signings, like, as the Juice. Like, what?
Yeah,
stop it.
Psychosis is gone. Like
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Mostly I'm going to miss that theme. His theme was the best theme in WCW. Hands down. Bar none.
Arn Anderson called.
No.
Yeah, Psychosis is one that, like, he's going to be a little more subtly missed, where when you saw Psychosis in a match, you're like, okay, we're good here.
I mean, the only saving grace in the Cruiserweight division was the Luchadors.
Yeah.
The Mexican wrestlers were the only thing that were, like, propelling that division and making it worth watching. Now Chris Candido's here, so that's going to go great. So that's all gone now. Is he? I don't know much about him, but like.
Well, I'm saying the little bit I've seen, like I've not
but
seen
see,
a ton of
we
him.
don't have the same taste in wrestler. So you saying you like Chris Candido does not give me the the piece that you might think.
But yeah, Psychosis was always somebody. If you saw him in a match, you're like,
oh, this might be all right.
Yeah, he's going to hold up his end of the bargain, and he can give you a great match, depending on who he's there with. And
that's a bummer. He'll at least be flippy and fun, but now we don't even have that to look forward to. Yeah. Every week, the show takes away something for me to look forward to. What is there?
So, we missed somebody on WCW television because we don't watch WCW Saturday Night.
Are we really missing out?
No, I can't even find it. But Psychosis had a match that was taped beforehand, but it aired the Saturday night before Uncensored.
Okay.
He faced Shark Boy. I did not know Shark Boy was in WCW.
Oh. I only know of Shark Boy in Legend.
Yeah. I looked and wait, it can't be the same Shark Boy. No, it's the same Shark Boy.
It's the same Shark Boy that sued Taylor Lautner?
Yeah. And then, no, wait. Oh, yeah.
I thought there was a whole lawsuit about Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Sorry, I forgot Taylor Lautner was in Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
He was Shark Boy.
I was like, what does Twilight have to do with anything?
No, his better movie.
He didn't sue Taylor Lautner. He sued the production. But yeah, he was in WCW. He's gone by the end of this month. They don't do anything with him.
Bummer.
But I was like, holy shit, one of those random, you were in WCW?
Yeah. I think it's still going to...
We're going to see AJ Styles.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It's still going to blow my mind when we see AJ Styles. Because, that man, I think that he found the Fountain of Youth and he, suckled at its teat. I don't know.
Well, I think he's, 18 when he shows up.
Yeah, but he's only, 42 right now. He's not that old. No. And he was in WCW.
Yeah, we did note that we recently passed the 24-year anniversary of Russo taking over, so...
Yeah. Woohoo!
So in terms of this actual show, we have Sid arriving earlier, and everyone's super hype.
Oh, yeah.
We get the short Nitro opening. I'm wondering if they're reworking the video because enough people have left.
Oh, the highlight reel, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
We get the opening pyro. Mean Gene is in the ring, brings out Sid Vicious. Sid says the weight is off of his shoulders and calls Jeff Jarrett dumb for losing and then calls him a pig. Which, he tries to do this, lipstick on a pig kind of thing.
Yeah, he's like, a pig is still a pig.
When you put a bow tie on it, it's
put a bow tie on it, even if you bring it into your house, it's still a pig.
Yeah, it's no, lipstick on a pig. That's a saying.
But people also have pigs as pets, and they bring them into their homes, and they're actually kind of like dogs, and they're very sweet.
Yeah, I don't want to do that, though.
You could.
What's the pig going to think when we have Sunday brunch and make bacon?
Oh, so that's the problem. We'll have to hide it from them.
Or is it the pig misbehaves, so we make bacon, this could be you?
No. Would you know if somebody was cooking human meat in front of you? Would you know?
Depends. Is it clearly an arm?
No. Is bacon clearly a pig?
Yes.
No, it's not. A strip of bacon doesn't
look
like
bacon is.
It's a pig. It doesn't know what bacon is.
Have you talked to a pig about this? Emily, would you love me if I was a worm?
No.
So
that was one of the stupidest things you ever said.
I forget if it's Sid or Gene who asked, who's next for Sid Vicious? And of course, it's Jeff fucking Jarrett.
But it's barely the NWO though, because you wouldn't know this is the NWO unless you looked at the bottom of his guitar, because no one is wearing anything NWO related. They don't come out to the NWO theme. They're just three
Here
guys.
They don't. Later they do,
but they're just guys.
Later they do, but I swear it's dubbed for one of them. But I did look. They do actually appear next week because I wanted to see them. Is this literally it?
But they don't wear the NWO t-shirts.
I've not peeked, but yeah, no, probably not.
When's the last time we saw the band is back together shirts?
Kevin Nash has been... He's just gone.
He's just I'm over it.
Remember how he's commissioner?
Yeah. I think about that.
He's
just going to show up one of these days.
No, he's not.
I know.
Well,
I know.
He is, but he's not.
He's not coming back soon. I know that.
He does have a WCW magazine cover that says Maximum Overdrive, which is just layer upon layer of reference. Not even a joke, just reference.
But also, he's not here.
Yeah.
Why is he the cover of your magazine?
Well, he was on the cover of the last magazine, too.
But he's still not here.
But Jeff Jarrett's here. Jarrett's not done with Sid because he's I pinned Sid 3 times in the past. And then he blames Hulk Hogan for losing. I'm well, you do have a point there.
Basically, the whole episode can be summed up with that soundbite that Nick loves of how many times we have to teach you this lesson, old man.
Yes.
This whole episode.
Jarrett offers a tag team match, and if Jarrett wins, he gets a title shot. If Sid wins, Jarrett will never ask for a title shot again. And I'm
that's a fucking...
Yeah.
That's very carefully worded.
Yeah, the way you do that stipulation is... I will never get another title shot as long as you're champion. That's sort of okay, that's believable as opposed to I will never challenge for this title.
Ask.
Yeah.
The word I focused on was ask. Like, he can be assigned a match if he makes buddies with the commissioner, but he cannot ask.
I'm not asking. I'm demanding.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Jeff Jarrett brings out his partner for this match.
Oh my God, my eyes have never rolled harder.
Well, he showed up last night. Like, you knew who it was going to be. It's Scott Steiner.
Yeah, but with a piece of tape over his mouth that says censored because he's edgy and he's been censored from the big man upstairs. You can't take me with all my words and all my body and all my sex because I'm so good at it. Then I'll just keep this tape over my mouth.
Well, he does take it off and cut a promo, but...
Immediately, to the point where, like, what's the point?
You know, I'm wondering... I think it's too clever for them, but I'm wondering if the fact that he returned on Uncensored, was that meant to be a thing or no?
Maybe.
I think that's too clever for them.
When he came out with the tape over his mouth, I swear my eyes almost got stuck behind my head because they were rolling so hard.
He cuts a very short Scott Steiner style promo.
This is not the I'm the best at sex promo, though.
No,
we don't
he
get
really
one
didn't.
of those,
He restrained himself. Sid says he doesn't need a partner, but he also probably has a bunch of options. He cut the same promo like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I don't need a partner, but there's a bunch of guys that want to kick your ass.
I want to know the logistics of where everyone is. Sid is in the ring. The Yeehaws. The Yeehaws are on the ramp. Although with the Yeehaws lose a little bit of branding with Scott Steiner because he's not a Yeehaw.
They do.
Because Hulk Hogan accepts the offer.
Of course he does.
And the music's hitting and someone's like, wait, I think I recognize that music. It's Hulk Hogan's music. What do you mean you think you recognize it?
It's like the most recognizable music in WCW right now.
He's also back in the undies.
Yellow undies.
Well, yeah, that's the ones he wears.
He doesn't usually come out in full yellow. Like,
yes,
yellow on yellow?
Yeah,
There's usually a belt or something that breaks it up, though.
Whoa, true. I think later he has a yellow belt, too.
Yeah, it's just yellow.
Yeah.
He's just looking like Colonel Mustard. I hate the yellow undies. I think it's really bad. I think undies are a bad look. But yellow on yellow, bad.
We do have a Who's That Pokemon for later.
Thank God. Something to bring joy to this. I did mention at this point that Sid has just fully gone into like cartoon character. I've mentioned this before, that he is just a Saturday morning cartoon character. Especially, so when Hogan comes out, Sid kind of does this like begging thing of like, oh, please be my partner, whatever. He's just so animated that like he's playing to the rafters. And it comes off very cartoony.
Emily, I have a question for you.
What?
When the fuck was he not? That's why I love Sid.
No, I feel like it's been more amped up recently. Like, there was a turn.
Can I point your attention to space number 22?
See, that didn't come off as cartoony to me for some reason. There was a change in the way that he came down the ramp. He like really started, like maybe when he was doing his face turn, that he started really like pumping up, like very like, you know, charging up with the audience. Who's the man? That all like really ramped up at a certain point. I think it was when he face turned. I'm
gonna disagree and agree at the same time. Weirdly, I think he was super cartoony as a heel, and for like a month and a half, they tried to have him be this cool, serious babyface, and then they realize it's Sid, and he's just doing Sid things, and he's back to being a cartoon. But
I feel like he like turned it up to 11. I don't know. Especially with this getting on his knees, being like, please, Hogan, please be my partner. He's playing to the rafters. The man is a theater major, if anything.
There's no one in the rafters, Emily. Why is he even doing it?
Acting.
I did not have attendance for this show.
That's okay.
It's on a college. They're probably giving out a lot of free tickets, too.
Is this on the UF campus?
That's what it seemed like. That was incredibly common for WCW, so.
Yeah. I have no idea how big University of Florida is. Like campus, I mean.
Probably.
I know it's a big school. Yeah. Florida has a lot of big schools.
So Hulk Hogan accepts the offer and says he knows all about these NWO punks. Hogan says Sid is the man to get WCW back on track. Sure he is, brother. That totally works for me, brother. Wink. And Sid says he wants to wipe the NWO out once and for all. He
calls Scott Steiner Big Papa Puppy.
Oh, yes.
I think that was an accident, but I caught it.
No, I think it was intentional.
Really?
Yeah, just funny. Like, you know, minimizing the threat and it'll piss off Steiner.
I thought it was funny.
Good thing he didn't call him a monkey in the middle, because Sid knows exactly how insulting that is. Did you forget about this?
I have no idea what the fuck.
Mark Madden called Sid like, oh, he's like a monkey in the middle for like the like triple threat match, and Sid was like, "What are you talking about? I'm not a monkey!" Like shoot angry backstage.
Oh, that's called roid rage.
It's also called Sid's kind of dumb.
That too.
So we have a main event, and we get Tony Schiavone and Mark Madden checking in. They hype up the main event. We also are going to get Lex Luger versus Vampiro and Sting versus Ric Flair for some reason.
It still bothers me that Mark Madden is doing the RVD thumbs. It comes off both like mean and marky at the same time.
Marky?
Fuck off.
Backstage, team package talk, Vampiro and Sting. Luger says Vampiro isn't ready for the big time while talking only to Ric Flair.
Wait, this promo drove me crazy.
Why did it drive you crazy? Because I have a different note on why this promo makes no sense.
Because Lex and Flair are talking to each other about the plan
yes!
to take them down.
Yes, okay.
And Lex is like whispering, like somebody might walk in, like, we gotta take him down. Like, I'm gonna do this or whatever. And then Flair comes in, let me tell you something, why we're gonna take him down.
Turns directly to cameras, pointing in the camera. Okay, I'm glad we both noticed this.
Why are you shouting the plan, even if we're like pretending that the camera's not there? Why aren't you
he's talking to camera.
I'm just saying, even if we pretend that the camera's not there, if you don't talk to camera, why are you shouting? Yeah. We established a scene here where you're not supposed to be like shouting about the whole plan because Vampiro might be looming around.
I don't know why this is the moment of fourth wall breaking that's reminding me of... Remember the Raven and Canyon vignettes?
What a mark.
Yeah, where Raven could break the fourth wall like Ferris Bueller.
Oh, I miss Raven.
Ugh, what about him, Emily?
I miss him. Yeah, it fucking pissed me off. The second that Flair started yelling, I was like, oh, this is just over. Never mind.
Commentary hypes up the debut of Chris Candido and then plugs Spring Breakout for next week.
At Florida State.
No, they're in South Padre Island. This week they were at Florida State University.
The recap video was at Florida State.
Yes.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, they're hyping up all the concerts and events at Spring Breakout for next week.
They had Better Than Ezra on the...
Yes, you know who that is. I don't...
I only know them for one song. Just the one song that played during the commercial on ABC before Desperate Housewives in like 2004.
Yeah, I mean, controversial opinion, but I like Ezra's version better.
I quit. That wasn't even that good of a joke, but I could see you preparing to tell it. That's what kills me.
Oh no, Ezra has just been arrested again.
And was that an Ezra Miller joke?
Yes.
Move on.
So yeah, Ricky Rackman's at FSU. Spring Breakout package. It's the same as all the other ones. All the, there's
games. Inflatables. There's college kids having fun.
There's a $3,000 check for Habitat for Humanity, which I think one was definitely for a children's hospital.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this isn't just one $3,000 donation. They're bringing the check to each campus. Like, look at all the good we're doing.
No, I think you're right. The last one was for like a children's hospital.
Yeah.
I think it's different charities every time.
Can you imagine though?
Yes. That sounds like something that Eric Bischoff would do.
He's not here.
But it still sounds like something he would do.
They get Mean Gene backstage with Chavo Guerrero.
I like this Chavo.
Yeah, Chavo's been gone for a little while, but
I haven't seen him in a minute, yeah.
Yeah, he says he was gone getting his finances in order. He also says he was mad he wasn't in the Cruiserweight title tournament, and then pickpockets Mean Gene.
Yeah, steals his wallet.
So then we get the artist on commentary, but it's Paisley will be doing talking.
So you can't talk to the artist unless you're deemed worthy. So the Paisley will be the in-between for Mark Madden and Tony Schiavone to talk to the artist. And she will talk for him.
Yes.
Stupid.
We'll get to a note about that at the end of this match, but our opening match for tonight is Lash LaRue versus Hard Knocks Chris Candido. Hard Knocks with an X. Candido asks for a mic before the match. He says he doesn't have a gimmick, a costume, or a trashy valet. I'm like, give that last one a few weeks. Your trashy valet is in the mail.
Oh no! But he emphasizes he is purely professional.
Lash interrupts with a drop kick and then drop toe holds Candido. Manages to hit a hip toss and stays on offense until an enziguri from Chris Candido. Delayed vertical suplex from Candido and then a Brett's rope elbow drop. Lash starts a little comeback, including a shake, rattle, and roll. Lash goes up top but gets crotched, and Candido hits a superplex, then goes up top himself, hits a diving headbutt, and gets the pin. Oh, I blew through that.
Yeah, that was a very quick match.
Well, usually you interrupt me when you have notes, and I guess
the only note I had was about Paisley on commentary. Paisley on commentary was actually fantastic.
She
has a great voice for commentary. She doesn't stumble over her words. She's very confident when she speaks. Her voice is just like butter. It's so nice to listen to. I would listen to her podcast.
There was one great line from, I think it was Tony or Mark on commentary at the end of this match.
Mark.
Would you like to...
Why is the artist wearing a headset if he had no intention of talking?
And Paige is like, shut up.
His brilliance cannot be...
contained by words.
Yeah, she faltered. She came up with something.
Yeah, it was one of those where she was not ready for that question. Like, oh, fuck.
Take the fucking headset off.
I do think this was a pretty good match.
It was fine.
It was quick. I think they could have actually given this a lot more time and had some fun with it.
It was inoffensive. It was not a standout performance by Candido, especially on his debut. It was kind of forgettable.
Yeah, I thought it was somewhere between okay and good debut. Like, he didn't look bad here. I did find it interesting. He's like, I don't do anything flashy, and you won with a diving headbutt. It's like, well,
that's not flashy.
No, but it is a top rope move as opposed to.
But it's the most common top.
I think of Drew Gulak, who's like no top rope maneuvers.
That I don't think of that as flashy. That's very common.
Now, in terms of his style, are you doom and gloom about this, or do you think he might do okay?
More.
Okay. You're not instantly out.
No, I'm not instantly out, but I'm also not instantly in.
By the way, the Sunny Days promo, she is dating Chris Candido during that promo.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Also, while Sean is having sex with her, she's just cheating on Chris Candido.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
She's a winner.
You know what? She is a woman who knows what she wants.
Yeah, and right now she just wants to not go to jail, but she's not going to get that.
Well,
What Sunny wants, Sunny gets, but not that. Let's move on. We get Lane and Rave backstage.
Ugh.
They talk Miss Hancock and ask her who her new men are. It's Los Fabulosos. We established this last night. Yeah.
But she sells it as it's a surprise.
And then Lane and Rave are like, I have no idea who those people are.
Yeah.
Emily, they are doubting El Dandy.
They don't know that El Dandy's part of the El Fabulosos.
Who are they to doubt El Dandy?
They don't know that El Dandy's in that. They're just doubting Los Fabulosos because that's a dumb name.
Their groins are about to be excited.
They don't know that.
I don't even know if we see Los Fabulosos next week, but I'm like, there's no way that team survives the reboot.
No. We know how Vince Russo handles the luchadors.
Yeah. We then get a live shot of Randy Savage in a straitjacket.
Beef.
It's a Slim Jim ad. Let's go to match number 2. I would say, speaking of the way you handle luchadors in terms of, somewhat racism, it's Fit Finlay versus La Parka.
La Parka, the chairman! I was actually very excited to see him.
Yes. He grabs a mic when he comes out, and they do the dubbed promo thing.
Oh, this is fucking egregious.
I mean, he's at least aware of it. It's not one of those where, they didn't tell them that they were going to do it.
No, I know. It's just... It's
Kai and Tai. It's the same, yeah.
I hate that, though.
Yeah.
That is just racist, especially the way that they're, dubbing over it. It's just racist. I find it really gross.
Yeah, it's different jokes because...
It's a different version of racism. Well, it's still disgusting.
The Kai and Tai one, I don't know, maybe it's because they're Japanese. I'm like, oh, it's like a joke on anime.
Exactly, yeah.
La Parka's Hispanic.
Yeah, but they're they dub him over in this gangster hip hop, yo, man, what? 1 4 1 4, one for me, one for all my homies, or whatever it was. Stop it! It's that was awful to me, disgusting, egregious. La Parka does not deserve.
Yeah, it's really cringe. The last line of this is the voice threatens to bust Finley's Lucky Charms ass.
But then. Honestly, the worst part about all of this
is that Finley just beats the shit out of La Parka for 90% of this match.
I didn't really pay much attention to the match because commentary.
Oh yeah, Mark Madden, I think, definitely had two things to say.
Commentary didn't mention this match at all. The entirety of this match, maybe 75% of this match, was Mark Madden being the voice didn't sound Latino.
Tony Schiavone played along for the first minute of this match,
and then kept going at it. It's he didn't really sound very Latino in that promo. Do you think that was actually him? Well, he didn't sound. They just kept hitting the note of it didn't sound Latino, and that's the part that pisses me off. It's first of all, it's a bad joke anyway. Second is just racist. Third, it's not funny.
Yeah.
None of this is funny. Watch the fucking match.
Well, it's not a good match either because.
Well, it's La Parka. We love La Parka.
Yeah,
I give him a lot of bonus points.
But Finley just beats him down for the whole match. La Parka gets no offense until Finley hits the ring post, and then La Parka manages to hit a suicide dive. La Parka, I don't know what the spot was gonna be, but there's a chair set up on the floor, and La Parka crashes into it, and I'm like, I don't know what you were going for.
I don't know.
Back in the ring, get a rolling hills from Finley, and it gets him the win.
Oh, and did you even mention that this is Finley's last match?
No, I was going to say that, yeah, we mentioned that on the last episode, but this is Finley's last appearance on our podcast, unless I can find the tape of WCW Millennium, whatever the hell it's called in Germany. But
I'm sure he'll show up somewhere, because you have a tendency to just, will people back into existence.
We're going to get everybody in the ring during Reboot Nitro, so he might appear, but this is his last match.
What a flat way to go.
Yeah.
What a shit match to round off his WCW career.
Yeah, he wrestles a sporadic match, but he becomes a backstage road agent, in WCW during this time.
Yeah, it's probably better for him.
Yeah, and he, goes on WWE to become like the main producer for the women at various points. So
probably better for him. He's not a bad wrestler. He never really found his in-ring persona, I think.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those where he has a very old school kind of world of sport style of wrestling, and that's not WCW or WWE.
No, not at this time.
Yeah, especially not in like, I don't think he actually debuts in WWE until like on TV until 2004.
He strikes me as somebody that would debut into like a Royal Rumble or something.
Yeah, Finley's one that we didn't see a great ton of. I never really loved his work in WCW. I like him more in WWE.
Yeah, because I remember you kind of hyping him up at the beginning. You were more Team Finley.
Yeah, I think it's just down to him not being able to work his style as much, and he's not, a great promo. So
yeah,
it's one of those where
he's not.
They had him talk a lot, it felt like. But yeah, that's it for Fit Finley, and Brian Knobbs nowhere to be seen on this show, and yeah, the hardcore division is thinning out. Yeah,
the hardcore is thinning out, the cruiserweight's thinning out. Like, what do we have?
Yeah, I mean, you still have some of the players in the hardcore division, and Brian Knobbs is going to lose the title without even actually losing it. So
what's he going to do? I mean,
yeah,
he's done.
We'll have to see, but I don't have the highest hopes. I mean, the end of that title lineage is Meng showing up on WWF television while hardcore champion, and they don't even mention it.
Yeah, that's not shocking to me at all.
Yeah. Back to the show, Booker, Kidman, and Tori are chatting backstage. They're all getting along, having a little powwow.
Well, everybody's friends now.
Yeah. You get David Flair and Daphne heading towards the ring. Vampiro cuts a brooding promo and rips his cast off. And
this was another stupid promo.
You know what? It was better than last week.
No, it wasn't. No. Because his whole thing is, I'm weak because my arm is broken. And he keeps gesturing to his arm like it still kind of hurts because it's broken. So he smashes the cast. Like, yeah, that'll help. Huh? So now you're just wrestling with a weak arm without any kind of protection. What the fuck are you doing?
I wrote this is a meh promo, which is actually a compliment for him.
Stupid. We
then get some Wall Nitro stills from the pay-per-view.
My favorite.
We get Mean Gene in the ring here to interview David Flair and Daphne. David Flair coming out in a UK tour t-shirt. It's like, wow, what a fucking jobber.
I mean, it is a cool shirt. I do like that shirt.
And David, like an idiot, sets up a table at ringside. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
He makes a comment to Gene that Bam Bam Bigelow and Crowbar are sharing a room in the hospital, and there's one empty bed in the room. And the Wall is going to occupy that bed.
They're in Gainesville. That's far from Miami.
That's not where the hospital is.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
David Flair is in a neck brace, and he calls out the big goof, and the Wall comes out.
The big, tall, hairy goof.
David then takes off a neck brace, which I don't think
Braces,
we've actually talked about
nothing
enough.
Matters.
Like, they keep getting killed week in, week out, and taking off their neck braces. I don't think they need the neck braces.
No, I don't think braces do anything.
The Wall grabs David by the neck, and then whispers something in his ear, lets him go, and then when David goes to leave, the Wall's like, psych, and then attacks David. It's like, what? What's the point of this?
Stupid.
So he takes David to the apron, and Daphne grabs a fire extinguisher.
The correct kind.
Yes. If you listen to our WrestleMania 13 episode on Patreon, you'll hear all about the wrong kind.
Is that a little plug?
So Daphne sprays the fire extinguisher on the Wall, but it has no effect on the Wall. Much like using Sand Attack on a Metagross who has clear body. He can't lower his stats. Yeah, the Wall no-sells it, chokeslams David through the table at ringside. David does not land properly on this table.
Oh, yeah, he slams his head into it.
Well, he lands ass first, like almost seated up. So the table breaks in where he lands, and the rest of the table like swings up and smashes him in the back of the head. Like, fuck. That's why you take that flat.
I'm so done with this storyline.
Yeah, I think it doesn't help that we've done this spot like 5 times now, it feels like.
Yeah, and David's not beating the Wall.
No.
So can we just drop this? This is stupid.
I think it also doesn't help that it escalated at Uncensored.
This should have
ended. And then
ended.
It de-escalated
Agreed.
here.
Yeah, I personally think this storyline should have ended when Bam Bam like got thrown into the table or whatever. Like around that time. When Bam Bam joined and then that first match, I think that should have been the end of it.
I don't know. I like Crowbar.
I love Crowbar, and I thought that spot was really cool. But I think that they're milking the story for too long.
Yeah.
They could have done other things with Crowbar. That match did not have to be Crowbar in the Wall.
It wasn't Crowbar in the Wall.
You're right. It wasn't even Crowbar in the Wall.
Yeah.
You're right. It didn't have to be that, though. That spot did not have to be crowbar in the wall.
Yeah, but like, what did you expect from this segment? Like, David's at the table. Okay, well, wonder what's going to happen here.
Stupid. But then commentary makes the comment of like, well, I guess that bed is being occupied.
So they're going to drive him all
the way to Miami.
It's like, well, you called your shot, so you cannot get help until we get to Miami. We get a WCW magazine ad because we have a Tori Wilson centerfold.
Which just makes both of us start singing the song, The Angel in the Centerfold.
Well, this prompts the match that Tori is out to the ring for. It's Kidman and Booker versus the Harris Buddies.
The Harris Buddies!
You forgot about the Harris Buddies, didn't you?
Big Ron and Heavy D.
Yep, they're like, that's back. I'm like,
Big Ron, Heavy D, the Harris brothers, the Buddies, they're becoming like Lane and Rave to me. Like, what are you going to be called this week?
To be fair, the Harris Buddies was a slip-up, and we've decided to pounce on it.
I know. We call them a lot of things. But they have too many names, and we never call them Big Ron and Heavy D.
Booker starts hitting his signature moves early, which makes me think this match is not going to be long. Kidman tags in, gets worked over until a vaulting drop kick. Tag to Booker, and he hits two of the worst bookends I've ever seen, to where commentary on the second one's like, I think he countered it. Like,
it was like Vince taking a stunner bad.
Yeah, like Hulk Hogan takes a choke slam better, and that's saying something.
Maybe this wasn't a good show.
Kidman faction, and Booker goes up top. One of the twins hits Booker with the title belt, and we get a DQ.
The one good thing about this match, though, Booker is in the ring at the very beginning of the match, and he does a scissor kick to Dawn, and then it's followed by a spinneroonie to get up. And then commentary, I don't remember like what preceded this line, but I think it was Tony said, spinneroonie, followed by a saveroonie there. That's good. That's funny.
It's gold, Jerry.
That's gold. A saveroonie.
Tori jumps on Ron's back, and he goes after her until Kidman makes the save with a chair, and that's pretty much the segment. It set up Kidman as Booker as tag title contenders, but frankly, you know what? They could have won right there, and I'd be like, good, get the belts off the Nazis.
Yeah. It was a fun match. It was nothing special. It was
barely
quick.
even a match.
It was quick. I think that's why I didn't hate this show, is because all the matches were kind of nothing, but they were quick, and they were fast-paced. So there was high energy, short time span. It's like a TikTok. All these matches are like TikToks. Just enough to keep my attention.
Vince Russo style booking.
You know, if it works, it works.
The Mama Luke's talk backstage, and Vito criticizes Disco. Giant Bull picks Disco up and tells him to get him a title shot, but Vito's had enough, and it seems like this team is headed to Splitsville.
Dissension.
Coming up next is Vampiro versus Lex Luger.
Yay. Oh my god. So, sorry, continue. There's just some really stupid lines in the show tonight.
Is it Lex's line once he grabs a mic and
Vampiro, or whatever your name is? I'm like, yeah, it's Vampiro. You got it.
Well, that's not a shoot name.
But like, it's Vampiro. You were right. He's only ever been called one name in WCW.
That's not true.
Has he been named something that we have paid attention to?
Yes, he was called El Vampiro for a few weeks.
Oh, go fuck yourself. That does not count.
He welcomes Vampiro to the major leagues, and it's like, you look at a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and I'm like, wow, baseball's changed. He's 93 miles an hour. It's like, okay.
That's kind of nothing.
Yeah, you're a relief pitcher here, buddy.
93, that's all you got. Mike, I can do that.
I can throw 70.
Good for you.
Vampiro's music hits, and he's sneaking up behind Lex, which we don't see until his pyro goes off, and we just get like a quick flash of him in the ring behind Lex. It looked really cool.
It looked like he just kind of like apparated into the ring through the smoke. It was kind of cool.
Based on the sneak attack, Vampiro starts on offense. It goes for a top rope Hurricane Rana. Lex just hits a low blow, blatantly. DQ?
Who cares?
And now that he doesn't have the element of surprise, Lex just works over Vampiro all over the ring. It's like, oh, okay, you are in the minor leagues, aren't you?
You also noted that there was no chair present for this match.
Yes, I guess they've gotten rid of that gimmick for Luger.
I would also like to write in the idea that Lex assumed that Vampiro's arm was already broken, so he didn't bring the chair out to break his arm again because he already broke his arm.
Well, he's threatened to break like Hennig's other arm or something. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was trying to think. I was trying to give it the storyline.
No. We get a press slam from Luger, and they do a bunch of nothing around ringside. Referee's not counting for a count out here.
The refs are pretty nothing in this show.
Luger continues to dominate with a power slam and some flexing. He signals for the torture rack, but Vampiro counters and starts a comeback. Goes up top, hits a diving clothesline, but only gets a 2. Then get Ric Flair running out to the ring as Vampiro hits a diving crossbody. Vampiro hits somewhere between a thrust kick and a super kick, and because this is the finish, like Lex Luger beats Vampiro to his feet.
Yeah, what?
Like Vampiro only bent over on the gravity of the kick, and I swear Luger's vertical before him.
Yeah.
Flair's distracting the ref, so Lex hits a bat shot and then locks in the torture rack for the win. Commentary's like, he got up from the bat shot. It's like, yeah, because he wanted to win with the torture rack.
Yeah.
There was no other point besides that.
Once Flair came out, I checked out of this match. I'm like, oh, this is going to be one of these matches.
Sting comes out to save Vampiro from the beatdown, and the heels bail. It was not a bad match.
That's the problem. Like, I don't remember these matches being bad. None of these were like horrendous to watch. But talking about them though, they're kind of nothing.
Yeah, this did not get Vampiro over like they wanted.
No, but it did not bury him.
It's somewhere between, but
I don't know. I don't think it elevated him, but I don't think it made him look worse. I think he maintained exactly where he was.
Which to me is a failing.
But that's not a burial.
We then get Gene in the NWO locker room. He makes a quip about, like, oh, the ladies, I see you're still not up on your feet.
Gene, stop making sex jokes. It's not funny.
Well, speaking of sex jokes, Emily, Jeff Jarrett has stroke. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Something, masturbation joke, something.
Steiner does his thing and says Hogan was only champion in the NWO because he had people watching his back. And I'm like, okay. Like, a bit of continuity there. Like, yeah,
That's
Hogan
true.
was a chicken shit heel champion for a lot of that reign.
That is true. And he even mentions later on that, like, he was the baddie of NWO at some point. But even when he was in NWO, like, he was not, like, the main guy. He never, like, won clean in the NWO. He always had other NWO people around.
I mean, he would occasionally win clean, but yeah, it was mostly screwy.
It was mostly screwy. Like, yeah, there were the one-offs, sure. And even if it wasn't, like, screwy, Kevin Nash was always there. Scott Hall was always there.
Oh.
Just, like, intimidation. Maybe they didn't interfere, but they were, like, there.
Let's go back to Ricky Rackman at FSU. He's hosting a special webcast next week.
Cool. The World Wide Web.
We then get a 15-second Nitro Girl segment. We then get Mean Gene interviewing Dustin Rhodes, and he calls Terry Funk a vampire.
Yeah, I was not following that. Because he's like, I drove a stake through your heart. But I'm like, that would imply that he's a vampire? But like...
No, he calls him a vampire
Terry
multiple
Funk has
times.
never alluded to being any kind of undead. What do you mean? He also refers to himself as the American Nightmare, which I think is funny because of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, Dustin then insults the old men of WCW.
Oh, honey. We
then see a Sid press conference from last night. I'm like, what?
I just remembered that Dustin Rhodes was on Tough Enough with, what's her face? The Russian girl.
NXT, not Tough Enough.
NXT.
Sorry, I'm like, what? Oksana.
Yes, I just remembered that Dustin Rhodes was on NXT with Oksana. They had a whole wedding. I just remembered that. Sorry. Anyway, Sid's doing a press conference.
Yeah, it was last night. And I'm like, oh, okay.
This was also stupid.
It's like, I've been dealing with the NWO for 6 months, but they've been around for 3. But
you always find these exaggerations more egregious than they need to be because, like, everything is exaggerated in WCW. Everything's exaggerated in wrestling. Do you actually think these people are like 500 pounds and 7 feet tall? No,
but I'm not there with a scale. I know how time works.
But no one is checking in 1999. No one's going on the World Wide Web and being like, well,
the show,
actually...
you know they have been around for 6 months. They should have after Starrcade. That was late December. We're in March.
But they showed up after the NWO being gone for like, what, 6 weeks?
NWO was gone for months.
Were they?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Especially in terms of like the high quality guys.
Well, okay, the high quality guys have been gone forever, but we had
I'm not counting
the B team. We had the B team.
Even then, that was like 4 months.
It doesn't feel like it was that long.
Yeah, I want to say that was August, and then NWO 2000 showed up in late December. So, yeah, 4 months.
It doesn't feel like that long. I don't know.
Yeah, but Sid wasn't dealing with them.
I don't know, man. I think that you're overthinking it. I think you're thinking about it more than anybody else has thought about it.
Yeah. But in terms of proper NWO, like that just disappeared when the Hogan Nash feud happened at Road Wild.
The B team held on for far too long. We don't need to talk about the semantics of the NWO. They have absolutely no bearing on this show, and they're not going to exist in 2 weeks, so fuck them.
Let's go to a match that I'm not sure why it happened, and we watched it, and I'm still not sure why it happened. It's Norman Smiley versus Hugh Morris.
Yeah, I think we both kind of had a double take that it was Hugh Morris coming down the ramp. Because, like, we haven't seen him, like, we saw him at Uncensored, right?
No, we haven't seen him in months.
No, he was absolutely
Uncensored. Yes. He was... Sorry, he was one of the lumberjacks. I was like...
I was going to say, please don't gaslight me. I know we saw Hugh Morris.
Sorry, he was so forgettable that I forgot.
Because I remember him coming down there, like, is that Hugh Morris?
Yeah.
Anyway, but we haven't seen him wrestle in a long time.
Yeah.
But this is not how I expected him to come back.
And this match, we both were struggling to pay attention during this one.
Yeah, this is the first one of the show that, like, I guess dragged. I guess.
Yeah, Norman does the wiggle on Morris, which I'm deciding on some verbiage here. When he does it on a person, it's the wiggle. When he does it as like his own taunt, it's the big wiggle.
Okay. And is there a difference between when he just like slaps the butt or when he does the lick and slide down the body? Because they're both referred to by commentary as the wiggle.
No, we're just going to say it's, yeah.
Because he did not do that, but he did do the butt slaps.
Morris does 2 crazy elbow drops.
Wild!
And then pulls Norman up on the pin. Oh, no, boy, going to school.
This isn't even that far into the match.
No.
And we were both, like, or at least I was like, this is not the time to go to school. Let's go home.
We then get a power slam and, oh, no, boy, it's back to school night.
Get your new shoes and some khakis because it's back to school, boy.
Norman rolls up Morris, but only gets a 2. Morris hits a no laughing matter, and for some reason, while he's climbing the ropes, the Demon's music hits. Yeah, and I'm like, fucking guy can't even make an entrance right. Jesus. Fucking loser.
I didn't realize it was the Demon's music at first. I thought that it was a flub by the like audio team where they had already started playing Hugh Morris's like his music as like the champion.
Yeah, I guess we didn't realize how generic the intro of God of Thunder is because we were like, what the fuck is this? And then I heard the lyrics kick in. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, yeah, but he's back to having a song because it was dubbed at Uncensored.
Who can keep up? Who cares enough to follow the Demon, though? Like, that's the real question.
So Morris gets the pin and then beats up the Demon.
In like a nothing spot. So the Demon made this whole entrance. The Demon came out to his music, got power slammed, and that was it. Did he even hit a move? Did he even throw a punch? That was just a big yikes for me. That was just like, that was it? That's it? Jeez.
When was the last time he specifically won a match?
The Demon?
Yeah, because Norman won the match for them on...
I don't think the Demon has won a match himself.
No, he definitely has.
I don't know.
I'm pretty lost in 3 seconds.
Was that not just now?
He wasn't in a match here. I'm saying where there was an official match on Thunder with Bam Bam and he lost in 3 seconds.
He's a joke. As they were exiting, Hugh Morris grabs the camera guy and like talks right into the camera, like doing one like last little line before he goes back up the ramp. So he speaks directly to Norman through the camera and I guess says, "You didn't get the wiggle, but you got a little giggle." What the fuck does that mean?
Laughing.
Who giggled?
It was humorous, Emily.
Oh, that is his whole thing, isn't it?
Oh, Jesus, you didn't get that?
No.
Oh, my God, I thought that was fucking like, oh, God, it was fucking lame.
You got a little giggle. I forget that Hugh Morris is humorous.
Sorry, you need Bobby Heenan back in commentary.
I guess I do.
He refused to say it as 2 words.
Humorous. Because he doesn't come off as like a funny person, you know? He has that one move called the no laughing matter, but what else about him is humorous?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, it's very easy to forget.
How am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me?
I couldn't tell you.
Then you get Mean Gene interviewing Kurt Hennig. Hennig says he respects Rhodes as being, you know, a fellow second-generation superstar.
Okay.
And says he's going to earn Dustin's respect tonight because he is unbeatable. One could almost say perfect, but you shouldn't because you'll get sued.
Okay.
I love all the ways Kurt Hennig gets around his like
Do you
set
think
promo
he's doing
style.
it intentionally?
Oh, some of these, yes. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But this one kind of seemed like, yeah, it's you have your style and you're just subbing a word out.
We then just get a cut to Gene in front of Sid's door, just talking at the door like, this is where Sid is. I hate those interviews. Or those like cutaways. You can't call it an interview. It's interviewing with a door. What the fuck?
Yeah,
but,
it's just
that's just stupid.
It's meant to be one of those like, hey, this is coming up. Like, you're going to see your guy. Don't change the channel kind of
But
thing.
like, we know he's here. He's been here. We saw him enter.
I know.
It's only a 2-hour show. He's got to be here.
We then get Kurt Hennig versus Dustin Rhodes. Kurt Hennig's still rocking the cast, and Dustin's still rocking the bright red pants and a red do-rag.
Talk about a match I don't care about.
Cheap shot from Rhodes early. Hennig hits a high knee and a neck snap. Punch from Hennig sends Rhodes to the floor, and Rhodes then works over the cast of Hennig and rips it off.
I'm over the casts.
And, well, so is Dustin apparently. And the referee's like, that's too far. Calls the DQ.
Yeah, huh?
We then get Hulk Hogan making the save.
Of course, mean Mr. Mustard is here.
Fuck you, Terry. And we decided in that moment we had to ask.
Who's that Pokemon?
This is the point in the show where we were losing our fucking minds.
Yes.
So we're like, I need something to grip onto that might make me laugh, and it succeeded.
So, for Hulk Hogan, Emily, who's that Pokemon?
It's Scraggy. He's fucking
you
stupid
love
looking.
Scraggy.
I saved a picture of him to my notes. I'll post it on the Instagram. Scraggy's so fucking stupid looking, and it just like makes me happy to compare the two. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Plusle. It's a very simple one.
I need to see a picture of Plusle. Oh, it's like a Pikachu looking fucker?
Yeah.
He's a little more red. I don't feel like Hogan was that red tonight.
He had
like the bandana, I think.
But
this was more just for lulz.
But I think there's one other person we have to ask who's that Pokemon to.
Oh, no.
And that's Hulk Hogan. And you know something, brother? I was supposed to be in the Pokemon game. You know, Missingno, the glitch Pokemon. No, that was going to be me, brother, but the attack stats were too high.
What?
And so it was a glitch. They couldn't get the Hulkster in there, brother. But I was going to be part of the 150. It was going to be 152 before it glitched out, brother.
Are you implying that Hulk Hogan was going to be missing now?
I slammed Mewtwo 500 pounds, brother, in front of Saffron City, Celadon City, one of them, WrestleMania 9 or 10.
I made that Ash Ketchum kid cry. Imagine if that's how the Pokemon movie ended, was just Hulk Hogan choke slamming Mewtwo.
You hit the big leg, brother.
Big boot to Mewtwo.
You know what it is? Hogan's ability is sturdy, where you think you knocked him out, and then he hulks up. Hulk Hogan used to recover.
That was fucking stupid.
This skinny guy Red up on Mount Silver couldn't even sell out a flea market. Thinks he's the Indigo champion, brother.
This is the crossover of the two fandoms that we did not need.
See, now what I need is I need the Reddit user Bret Hart buries this to talk shit on Blue.
Oh, to make a Bret Hart promo on the champion Blue?
On Blue immediately becoming champion and losing. It's like some match that was. To this piece of shit Bill Goldberg. Goldberg using hacks and Pokemon God.
Let's move on. Nick could stay on this tangent all night.
Using all legendaries? What are you doing, Mark?
Move on. This is good. I like this.
I think I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else I got.
You had a good run.
Oh, yeah, I'll end that by saying Triple H's theme is actually about Pokemon. It's the game they're talking about.
Ah, it all comes back together.
Yeah.
It is time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. And it's all about control and if you can take it. It's all about becoming the champion. It's all the same. Worlds colliding. Let's
move on to Gene interviewing Sid Vicious outside his locker room. Sid just kind of talks. It's like, what? This isn't you.
Yeah, he doesn't. He does eventually whisper, but he doesn't really yell.
But he tells Jimmy Hart, make sure nobody interferes. And something about that had me gonna go,
Interesting.
Oh, we didn't know during the press conference, because we're talking about the NWO timeline. Hulk Hogan just takes over the press conference.
Yeah.
And keeps going to leave. They're like, no, Hulk, more questions. And they ignore Sid, so.
And they end the press conference with some question of like, Hulk, who do you think the best wrestler is? Or something like, who do you think's better than you? It was like some feeding question of like, no one's better than me. I'm the best there is. Best there was, best there will be.
But then Sid goes into his whisper part of the promo. I'm like, there you go, big man.
Big boy found his way.
We're advertising what's going to happen next. Then we get jump scare Tank Abbott. Just like, what the fuck?
Why? Who asked you here?
Yeah. Then we get Mean Gene with Sid. Gene's all over the show.
He really is. MVP.
Sting says he's going to split team package right down the middle, and then it's showtime. Clowns.
That's not folks.
Got him.
I guess clowns can be folks.
We then get Tank Abbott versus the Barbarian, who you had to be reminded that we have seen before.
This is a pee break match at best.
Yeah, Meng is seen to be watching closely. They trade lazy punches and pushes. Tank slams the Barbarian and then is hit with a belly to belly. Barbarian actually gets some offense. I was like, oh, more than I thought.
I spent the entirety of this match looking up to see if either of these two were in the bloodline, to see if maybe they'd be making a resurgence on WWE.
I assume you meant Barbarian and Meng, not Barbarian and Tank Abbott.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I did not look up if Tank Abbott was in the bloodline.
You never know.
Meng and the Barbarian, I googled.
Finish this story.
No.
Barbarian distracts himself with the ref for the second time and then walks into a knockout combo, and he wins, and we immediately cut away to Ric Flair and Sting walking.
Cool. What a stupid match.
It wasn't even a match. It
was technically a match.
Yeah, but I actually wonder if we're even going to get Meng versus Tank Abbott in time or not.
Well, I don't know. Do you want that?
I want to see Meng beat up Tank Abbott, yeah.
I don't want to see Tank Abbott anymore. He's wearing sweatpants shorts.
He's been doing that.
I know, but tonight it was the first time I really took note of it. I thought he was wearing regular jorts or basketball shorts. And he's wearing sweatpants shorts. Like fleece.
Then you get Ricky Rackman hyping up some more shit, and I fucking get it, okay? Spring breakout's next week. It's fine.
This man is so drunk in this promo. He's looking at the camera, and he just grabs some random kid by the collar, like, hey, you look like a college kid, come here.
Well, he's the guy who won something, I think.
No. Oh. This guy was just there.
So you gonna be in South Padre Island next week?
That he had no bearing on any of this. He was just a guy. He was the closest guy that wasn't Shannon Moore.
Let's go to our second to last match of the night. It is Ric Flair versus Sting. Yeah. And believe it or not, this is the third to last time they ever do this match.
See, like, that sounds incredibly believable, but also wild knowing that, like, both these men, unfortunately, are still wrestling.
We're recording this just a little bit after Sting announced that he's going to be, like, actually retiring soon.
Really?
Yeah. It's one of those where, like, hey, like, it's on the horizon. Like, it's not yet. I'm going to keep doing it a little bit longer. And it's like, all right, who's he going to face? People like,
I swear to God, if it's Ric Flair. Oh my God. Someone's dying in that match.
There is some sick part of me that wants it to be Ric Flair.
There was a cool tweet, not to do with Ric Flair, that I saw on the Twitterverse. It was somebody comparing the very first video game that Sting was ever featured on versus the most recent video game that he was ever featured on. The original one was like 8-bit surfer Sting, like very late 80s, early 90s kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And the new one is like the new AEW game that's like beautiful graphics. And just like looking at those two pictures side by side, like it's the same guy in both games.
Yeah.
Like just that, like that comparison of technology is bonkers. It was so cool.
Emily, you're going to divide our audience by saying the AEW game has beautiful graphics.
I have seen one still.
Yeah, it's a weird art style.
If you're comparing the new video game to 8-bit, like just looking at that trajectory of technology, like come on. I've seen one still. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, so it's the third to last time we're going to do this match. We will be reviewing the second to last one because it's the final Nitro. And I'm like, shit, do we have to go find the TNA episode of the third one?
I don't know if we have to. No one's holding us to that.
You heard it here, folks. Tweet it and make Emily review it.
No one's forcing our hand on that.
Sting overpowers Flair to start and then hits a big press slam. Get a Flair turnbuckle spot and a clothesline to the floor. Flair rakes the eyes on the outside, hits chops, but they have no effect.
I was expecting you to make a Pokemon joke there again.
Back in the ring, Flair hits a big right hand and ducks a Sting crossbody. Low blow to Sting after a lazy ref distraction. Just like, what's the time?
Oh.
Flair hits punches and chops in the corner. The strikes just start firing up Sting as opposed to doing any damage.
There's also been like 3 beg-offs by Flair at this point in the match.
We get a press slam, then an eye poke, and Flair goes up top and is immediately thrown off. Luger appears, gets fought off by Sting. Stinger hits Stinger splashes to both men, locks in the Scorpion Deathlock to Flair, and in a bit, we don't know if this ended in a submission or a DQ. Luger pulls the ref out of the ring as Flair is like nodding his head, yes, I give up.
Yeah, that he's giving up.
And we hear the bell ring, and it's like, all right, so was it DQ for pulling the ref out, or was it submission?
Or was it a submission? I think that it was a DQ for pulling the ref because the bell continues to ring as the match goes on.
I thought it was a submission.
I think it's DQ.
Flair and Luger beat down Sting until Vampiro makes the save, and that's the segment.
So I understand why Lex and Flair would run off when Sting runs in to save Vampiro.
Yeah.
I don't get it for the reverse.
Especially a fresh Sting.
Yeah. I don't get it for the reverse. Vampiro is not this like he's great. Love him. But he is not this like overwhelming power. He doesn't have the same presence and bravado that someone like Sting has. It's like your little brother coming in to like, hey, stop picking on my dad, you know? Like,
wait, so
I changed up that whole family dynamic.
So you're picking on your own dad and your little brother comes in.
Yeah.
Or is it your stepbrother and then it's like you're making fun of his dad, but he's not your dad?
No, man, just go with it.
Okay. I mean, this match it's Flair versus Sting. Like it's going to be good for what it is.
Yeah, it was fine.
It's not as good as their I remember their match from last year and both of us were like,
yeah, that was a great match.
This was like it was good defined somewhere in there. Like
Flair did do like a masterfully done quick little eye jab at one point in this where he just like quick turns around, bat, and then
The main eventers head towards the ring, and it's time for Jeff Jarrett and Big Papa Pump.
Papa Puppy.
That's what it's listed as on the graphic.
Oh, God. Yeah, you're right.
Versus Sid Vicious and Hulk Hogan. We get main event NWO theme. I'm like, fuck, that hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah, we haven't heard the actual NWO theme in a while.
In the main event. I mean, we heard it for the Harris Boys on pay-per-view, but...
Yeah, I guess that's true. But it's just been mostly yeehaw.
Yeah, so the ladies and the Harris buddies come out with the NWO. Jarrett's not even trying this point. You know the routine. Hit the bricks, ladies.
But at least now he's implying that he sleeps with the women.
Did he?
Kinda.
Like, I still don't believe Jeff Jarrett's sleeping with women. I believe Scott Steiner is.
He said something along those lines, and it just kind of came off as like, I don't know. I don't want to say territorial, but it was just like, Scott's never might be here, but they're my ladies.
Scott debuted them. I don't know. Hogan comes out after Sid, because of course he does.
Wait, what do you mean Scott debuted them?
He debuted these 3 women, like, before he got suspended.
This has not been the same 3 girls.
Yes, it has.
No way.
It has.
I find that incredibly hard to believe.
All right, we'll have to go back through. I'm pretty sure it's been the same 3 women.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I thought it was just like local girls of the week.
No, I'm pretty sure it's been the same one.
I don't think so.
We only see them in the entrance, and then that's it. But I'm fairly certain, because one of them is Medeja, who shows up later.
I don't know, man.
And we like talked about their names at one point, so
I don't know.
That's it. It should be different women each week, but it's not to me. I'm pretty sure.
And it does feel like Scott hasn't been here in months.
Yeah.
They're Jarrett's ladies now. Like if we're gonna play the like territorial thing.
Are you saying Jeff Jarrett claims squatters' rights on these women?
If they allow it, sure.
But yeah, Hulk Hogan comes out last after Sid. I'm like, no, that's not how that's supposed to work.
Oh, whatever.
Scott Steiner, as Hulk Hogan's making his entrance, goes over to commentary and very clearly through the microphone, Hogan wasn't shit. And then during the match, it gets bleeped twice. So clearly they're like, all right, pay attention to everybody.
But he also like went back and said it a different time.
No, you're thinking of Mark Madden rewrites it. It's like, oh, you hear what he said? He says Hogan wasn't crap.
Oh, okay, maybe it's that.
So Hogan starts the match with Jeff Jarrett. Hogan overpowers Jarrett, throws him around. Sid tags in but gets poked in the eye. Sid counters a breadstroke axe handle with a low blow. I'm like, DQ?
Who cares?
Hogan hits an 8-punch spot, like notices the crowd chanting, and then like, no, fuck you, bites Jarrett's head. Like, what?
Yeah, I hate the biting.
I know we talked about like, oh, he wrestles like a heel, but noticing they're counting and then stopping the count to bite, that's a heel move.
Yes, no it is. You're right.
Sid signals for the choke slam, but Steiner interferes and then tags in. And we get a nice overhead belly to belly from Steiner to Sid. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, there were some like moments of good in this match. To me, it was mostly standard.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad
very
thing.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
Steiner works over Sid as he calls for the fans to kind of like get him back in the match. The heels tag in and out to work over Sid, but Hogan gets the tag. The commentary knows that Sid looks actively upset as the crowd chants for Hogan. We get a big boot to Steiner and then a big boot to Jarrett. But before Hogan can hit the leg drop, swerve! Sid decides to chokeslam Hogan and pins him? What? Referee counts it, and Sid is just won and lost.
Yeah, that one made no sense.
The NWO like celebrate, like, yeah, we won.
Yeah, we win, but
and
like,
then they disappear.
You did. It's very confusing.
Yeah. Which, I'm like, wait, can Jeff Jarrett ask for a title shot? Can he not? I don't
know.
But yeah, welcome back to the title picture, Hulk Hogan. Despite Sid being over as a face, you need a heel to feud with, so might as well be him.
Sure, I guess.
Like, if you wanted Hogan to feud with a heel, why didn't you put the title on Jarrett?
I could not handle another Jeff Jarrett title run. That man's insufferable enough as it is now.
Yeah, he's still the U.S. champion, by the way.
Yeah, he's a U.S. champion. See, that didn't feel that bad when we were watching it, but rehashing it, I still don't have a best bit.
Yeah, I think it's just a dumb episode of Nitro.
It's
not
a dumb
bad
episode.
It's a dumb episode.
Yeah, I did say the word stupid a lot in this recording.
It was an okay show. Like, nothing was aggressively bad. It tried to set things up that like won't happen. But for better or worse, it didn't try to do a ton, which was kind of nice. Like, wasn't trying to shove everything in your face.
Yes, that's true, which is nice. It's almost like a breather.
Yeah, and then we got Spring Breakout, and then we reboot.
Woohoo! See, I'm really curious what the reboot actually means, because we keep using it as a like, well, they're about to reboot everything, so I don't know if any of this matters, but we don't actually know what the reboot fully means and what fully entails.
Yeah, it's one of those where, at the very least, there is a brand new creative regime taking over with an excuse to reset things.
Sure.
So it's like you kind of assume there's going to be some harsh changes.
Yeah, I just don't know what those changes will entail or what they will actually look like.
Well, we only got one more Nitro in between. We got a couple episodes of the podcast in between, but before we get to all those, let's go to best bit, worst bit, and MVP. Emily, You gotta find something for your best bit.
Can you go first for the best bit? Because I have the other two. It's just the best bit that I don't have.
I think this is one of those occasions where I am taking the best bit language literally. In terms of this show, this was the best bit, and it was a match, but it wasn't necessarily standout. But to me, the best bit was the Ric Flair Sting match.
Yeah.
It's 1,000% skippable, but I thought it was the best bit of the show.
Shoot. Okay, so like when I say bit, I usually mean like moment. When you say bit, I think you mean match.
I mean segment.
I guess I gave my best bit to just like I liked Sid's overacting through the episode. It was just kind of fun to watch.
Okay.
The begging at the beginning, the whisper talking, the like scheming with Jimmy.
He was weird and then as shit during the
and then during the match when he does like that dramatic turn of like, oh my god, they're cheering Hogan.
Well,
that
during the press conference, like he was like on something. Yeah. Okay.
I think I'll give it to him. Just acting.
Emily, what's your worst bit? You said you had one going in. I forgot.
The La Parka dub.
Okay.
I fucking hated the La Parka dub. I think it like really undermines La Parka as a character. I think it makes everything a joke when it doesn't have to be a joke. I think La Parka is comedy enough without turning it into racism. And I think it's egregious.
I gave mine to just Ricky Rackman.
Ricky Rackman at least had fun. Ricky Rackman at least got drunk.
This was one where it just seemed cumbersome to keep doing
He didn't want to be there.
Yeah. And then, both of us are going to have to struggle. Emily, who is your MVP?
I was also giving it to Sid. Sid or Mean Gene. Those were my two. Because Gene was putting in work.
You know what? I'll give mine to Gene.
Okay.
Yeah, Gene's all over the show. And I'm like, you know what? In terms of actual value, it's like, he...
Sure.
Think about it. If this is Ricky Rackman doing these interviews, it's like, I don't know. He feels like it's going to take away.
Yeah.
Gene knows when to get in, when to get out, and when to, like, jab a little almost.
Yeah, he knows when to push.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I guess I'll give that. So you're Sid, I'm Gene. Well,
we figured it out.
They say all men are created equal, but you look at some of the MVPs, you can see that statement is not true.
Oh my god, we need to cut this. You will go through the entire promo if I don't cut you off.
No, I was gonna end it there. So next up is Spring Breakout 2000.
Woohoo!
Which I'd say is the last one. Which I'd say is the last one, but I think technically the final Nitro is a Spring Breakout.
Which makes sense. I mean, they're in Panama City Beach.
I mean, it lines up in the timeline perfectly. So yeah, it's
awkward.
We're in the final year. We're in the end game now. But if you liked what you heard on this episode, you can listen to all of our back catalog on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Deezer, and a couple others scattered around. And if you really liked what you heard, you can subscribe to us on Patreon. $5 a month gets you a handful of bonus episodes.
At least one episode a month at this point.
Yep. We just did WrestleMania 13, where Sid may or may not have shit himself.
We still cannot confirm nor deny that.
Which is a show that also has a lot of people currently in WCW, like a weird amount.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap.
Yeah, and upcoming to that, we'll have Legends House.
The finale.
And Emily, I literally did not realize until we got to this point. This episode's coming out on the 3-year anniversary of the podcast.
Oh, yeah, because I guess we did do it around Halloween, didn't we?
Yeah. I swear
wow.
It's such a nothing Nitro
Happy
that we
anniversary.
forgot. Yeah, we did. We'll have to celebrate more to start year 4.
I guess so,
on the next one. But yeah, do this for 3 years.
3 years. 3 years, 91 episodes. Oof. Yeah. We've gone through how many apartments?
A lot. A lot.
This is our 4th place recording.
Yes.
Good Lord.
You can follow a lot of that journey on Threads and Instagram and Twitter/X at Butts in the Pod, Facebook, the Butts in the Seats podcast. Yeah, wow, we did the awards for last year. This is just this is 3 years.
Yeah, what a year it's been.
Well, from everything I've heard, next week is going to be wild, so we'll celebrate a little bit then. But until we go to South Padre Island for Spring Breakout, I'm Nick.
I'm Emily.
And thanks for listening to the Butts in the Seats podcast.
Bye.